Welcome back to Arise Entertainment 360. So if you love fashion and food with a side of drama, you'll love the book Food Whore.
I love the title. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Here to dish on that title, and her first novel is author Jessica Tom. Welcome to
Hi. Thanks for having me.
The title is amazing.
Yes.
Explain. How did you come up with this?
Okay. Well, originally the title was Don't Believe Everything You Eat.
Okay.
Which is sort of a mouthful. And then it was titled Bad Taste.
Oh.
And then the publisher and the agent were like, it's kind of okay, but it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Got you.
And it doesn't really tell you what it's about. So they're like, sit down.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this? What do you think of Food Whore? And so they emailed me this, and I wrote back like, ha 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 ha. And I didn't think they were serious. Because I had never seen a book. I mean, now there's a book called Man Whore that's like been on the New York Times bestseller.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm like, no, you cannot. Like me, like Jessica Tom, I cannot be the author of Food Whore.
No.
But
You're
then I
a
thought
lovely
about
girl.
it. Yeah,
You're
right,
engaged.
right.
You have a beautiful ring.
Yes.
You're no food whore.
But aren't we all? Though?
Oh,
Yeah. So the more I thought about it, and then I asked more friends, and then I sort of envisioned it in like sort of a polished, refined cover. You know, it could be something that's really tawdry, and that's something that I want to avoid. But if it's paired with with cover art that's really beautiful and really intriguing, then I like the idea of it. And you know, when I say I'm the author of Food Whore, people remember it.
And they listen, they're like, what, excuse me?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
sit
yeah.
right up. And you say that Food Whore is a person who will do anything for food. So what's the craziest thing you've ever done for a meal?
Let's see. So one time I was on vacation in Paris, and my mother was on a business trip, and she was traveling first class, and I was in economy. And then we were checking in for our flight, and we saw that Emeril Lagasse was checking in too. And I've always wanted to meet Emeril. So I'm like, Mom, can you swap seats with me?
You put your mother in coach?
Yeah, well, that's anything you do for food. And my mom's like, no. But I'm like, Mom, trust me. Like, I'm gonna write a food book, and like I'm gonna tell him about it. Da da da. And she's like, okay. Like, make sure it's worth it.
Right.
And today's the day that the book comes out. Da da da. So anyway, so we swapped seats. And I went to talk to Emeril, like, in the plane, and I'm not
What did
even
you
really
say
sure
to
why
him?
the flight attendants.
What was your opening line?
Well, I had
Were you
some.
like, bam?
He's actually very soft-spoken in
Really?
real life. Yeah, he's
Emeril?
very sweet. Yeah. Well, I had this idea for a cooking show idea, which was like another thing. But
Okay.
yeah, that was probably the boldest thing I've done in the name of food.
It's a good story, though. I like that.
I like that. Okay, so Kirkus Reviews has said that your book is the Devil Wears Prada for foodies. That is a rave. I like that.
I like that too. You know what's funny? I didn't read The Devil Wears Prada until this year, until after I wrote the book, because I think a lot of people thought, oh, it's a food Devil Wears Prada, so that's why I didn't want to read
Okay.
Devil Wears Prada, so it wasn't too much like that. But yeah, I don't mind the comparison at all.
So who's going to play you in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want
Who
to
would
say.
you
I don't want
want?
to say. I don't want to say because I don't want potential producers to say, oh, well, she thinks this person, but I really think this person.
Wait, that suggests
Okay.
that the book, has it already been optioned?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, oh, it
You
sounds
just
like a
have
big-
it out there?
Something in the back of my head.
It definitely would make a great movie, though. So tell us a little bit more about your Miranda, your version of the characters in this book, Food Whore.
Yeah, so the Miranda Priestley in this novel is a man called Michael Saltz, and he is the restaurant critic for the New York Times. And so he's lost his sense of taste, and he has this reputation to keep up, and he's very self-involved, and so he gets this young woman named Tia Monroe to write his reviews for him, to basically ghostwrite his reviews. So it seems like a great opportunity,
Right.
except he's taking advantage of her and you know, stealing her words, and then, you know, over the course of the book you see the lies that he's spun to sort of keep her in his web.
But isn't it all worth it? She has unlimited credit card shopping, and she gets all these great meals in five-star restaurants.
You might think so in the beginning, but you know, there are no shortcuts in life. That's maybe a lesson of the book.
You know, I used to actually work at the New York Times, and I know
Oh, yeah, I
Sam
knew that.
Sifton. Okay, so he always spoke about how it is a dream job in theory if
Yeah.
you're only going to great restaurants.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of restaurateurs and restaurant reviewers have to go to bad restaurants.
Yeah.
So can you imagine eating bad food for free all the time?
Yeah, and you basically you have to eat out, you know, lunch, dinner, maybe 2 dinners, and like sometimes you just want to like a salad at home, you know, and you can't, you know, you have to be like, it's almost like you're an athlete, you know, and you have to work out enough
to burn
make
off the
sure-
calories.
Yeah.
So how did this story hit close to home for you?
You know, I'm very similar to the main character. I wouldn't say we're exactly the same, but everyone says, you know, your first novel is the most autobiographical.
That's true.
And so, you know, it's a story of a young woman who moves to New York and loves going out to restaurants and is a writer.
Did you
You know?
intern at Zagat? Is that correct?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Zagat.
Zagat,
Yes.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was while I was in college, and you know, it was interesting because Tim and Nina Zagat would come into the office all the time, and you know, once we went out to lunch with Tim Zagat at Jean Georges, and which is amazing.
Oh, I love
Wait, what's he like to eat with, though? Is he like critiquing everything about the food, the menu, the service?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't stop.
We went to Jean Georges, and this was before the AOL Time Warner building was up, so that's where the office was. So Jean Georges was basically the best restaurant in the area. So we go there, and then just like the service like snaps your attention.
Because they know who he is.
Yeah. So everyone's like circling around us, and so he likes Arnold Palmer's.
Okay.
So the second he sits down, he gets an Arnold Palmer. He also likes his toast like burnt black.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
And then the black toast is there. Like we don't even need to say anything.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
then,
power.
Yeah. And then Jean Georges, the chef, comes out to say
Jean-Georges
hi to us.
Bonriton came out?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. And we're just like interns, and so he's like talking to us, and like we get all these desserts, and yeah, it was great.
Okay,
Wow.
so my favorite restaurant in the city is a Jean Georges restaurant, Mercer Kitchen. What's your favorite?
I love ABC Kitchen.
Yes.
I think
okay.
I really like Jean Georges cooking.
Yes, me
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Me too. I like Spice Market. I love Jean Georges.
Yeah.
I love Mercer Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yep, I love them all.
Yeah.
So then you know how to eat, you know where to go. So what is the secret to getting an A++ review from a place like Zagat?
Well, you know, I think now is a really interesting time in restaurant criticism. So Zagat is the people who are giving the reviews, and then it's curated by editors. And then you have the people who are like Instagrammers and Yelpers, and then you have the people on high. So it's kind of like you have to sort of touch on a lot of things. So you have to have very photogenic dishes for the Instagrammers and the Yelpers.
That's true.
And then you also have to have, you know, maybe a certain lineage. So the New York Times is interested.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have the secrets, but that would be my guess.
Sounds really
Good
good,
advice.
though.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the follow-up going to be? Drink whore, dessert whore? Like what?
Yeah, we were thinking about bacon
Yeah.
or something.
Bacon hoe.
Bacon hoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story of a young woman
Who does anything for bacon?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
gets to the top
Yes,
in the Big
yes,
Apple.
Wait,
yes.
are you gonna
Except
have
for the
a-
cancer scare.
Yeah.
That's the
We'll cut
twist.
that out.
Yeah, what are you going to do without life without bacon? Do you think you'll survive without processed meats? Or you not
Just
care?
a little bit of bacon has got to be fine.
Yeah.
Little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Like I'm not making those. You see those like bacon wrap steaks or like deep fried
Yeah.
bacon.
Yeah, no.
Like
That's
yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
That's too much bacon.
But just a little bacon in your yeah.
I like a little pancetta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think about all those like pancetta and speck.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Hamon.
Bacon
know.
bits in a salad, even when you're trying to be healthy. I tell you, so many things. So
So
many.
are you a blast to go out with? Like, do you have access to all the hottest restaurants in the city?
I don't know about access, but I do know of a lot of places because I sort of treated it as my job to research for this book. So I do, if someone's like, oh, where should I go in Flatiron? I'm not looking to spend a lot of money, you give me these specs, and I'll sort of like run it through my inventory.
So you're like a walking Zagat now.
Yeah, a little bit. But you know, over the past 6 months or whatever, I've been really focusing on the book, so I don't have a ton of time to go out.
Well, you also
anymore.
said that New York City became like your muse for the book. How so?
Well, you know, I think in a way, food is sort of a lens through which you can look at New York as a whole. How like people are so crazy about certain things, whether it's food or it's fashion, or it's media, or it's finance, and how it can become competitive and it becomes sort of social currency. When you're out to eat, you're like, oh, I got reservations to this place. Or like, oh, I'm vacationing in this place.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I got this deal. And so, you know, I think New York is really interesting because there's a lot happening. There are a lot of people doing amazing things. But it's also really tiring, you know, keeping up with this sort of rat race and knowing what's cool and trying to be cool and that. And so, you know, that's sort of one of the themes of my book. Just sort of like what is glamorous on the outside might not be that great once you're on the inside.
Very true.
Very true.
It's very true. So really what we joked about Bacon Hoe being
Yeah.
your follow-up, but
Yeah.
what is next for you?
So I'm working on a second book. It's also food focused, and so I'm not quite ready to talk about it yet. Because
Okay.
it's like a little bit up in the air.
Okay.
But yeah, and I'm sort of just, you know, getting the word out about this book and sort of figuring out what the different opportunities are with that.
All
And this book is actually out today.
Yes,
Just
yes,
released
my
today.
lunch day.
Yay!
Yay! Book birthday.
And real quick, talk to us about your book signing at your alma mater.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, I'm going to be in New Haven, and I went to Yale University, and I'll be there at 6 p.m. signing books. And then I will be, my New York launch party is November 2nd at Powerhouse Arena in Dumbo.
All right.
Nice.
Well, we're there. We've invited
Yay!
ourselves.
Awesome.
Because we're
so
food
fun.
whores.
Food horse.
Yeah.
We'll bring the bacon. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. Congratulations
you.
again on Food Whore.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Great reading.
Thanks.
All right. We'll be right back with more Rise 360.